Today, everyone knows the Los Angeles Lakers as the glamorous franchise that's on the heels of the Boston Celtics. They're eternal rivals for the most NBA championships in league history. But that wasn't always the case. A few decades ago, despite enjoying sustained regular season success and acquiring a significant number of star players throughout the years, the Lakers had only been able to win a single championship since their move from Minneapolis to Los Angeles. But things were starting to take shape for the team in the late 70s, and the arrival of one of the top playmakers of all time would unlock their potential and start an era known as Showtime, in which the team stormed through the league for a whole decade. Welcome to Courtside. Today, we'll talk about the Showtime Lakers, one of the most iconic teams in league history, and how they were able to dominate the NBA in the 1980s. In 1972, the Lakers were coming off arguably the most dominant season in the league so far. Under coach Bill Sharman and guided by superstars Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West, they put up together a then-league record 69 wins, including the record 33-game winning streak that still holds up until this day, and finished by winning their first title since moving to Los Angeles. But their championship window would quickly close. Despite their star power, the Lakers were an aging team, and failure to replicate their championship run was followed by the retirements of their two stars in consecutive seasons. Without its best players, the team would struggle on the following season and ended up missing the playoffs for their first time since their move from Minneapolis. But the drought would not last very long. In the 1975 offseason, the team completed a trade to acquire the first piece of their future dynasty, champion center and multiple times MVP winner Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. After again missing the playoffs despite Kareem's MVP winning play, the team signed West as their new head coach, and under his leadership, the Lakers made immediate improvements and returned to the postseason, but were still unable to regain their status as championship contenders. But then, the 1979 draft arrived. Having acquired the first overall pick from the New Orleans Jazz with the trade, LA selected college sensation and NCAA champion, point guard Earvin Magic Johnson, to start a new era for the franchise. Behind Magic's passing and new owner Jerry Buss's urgency to make the Lakers play as entertaining as possible, the team developed a fast-paced offense that relied on fast break sequences that usually finished with Johnson making a no-look pass to an open teammate for a spectacular play. And thus, Showtime was born. Behind the duo of Magic and Kareem, the new offense flourished and the Lakers became must-watch basketball. The team finished the season with 60 wins and reached the NBA Finals, where they were matched against the Philadelphia 76ers. The series went to 6 games, and with Abdul-Jabbar sidelined because of an injury, Magic started at center and willed the Lakers to a Game 6 victory with 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. Johnson, already an all-star, won a title on his first season and became the first rookie to be named Finals MVP. In the following season, with Magic's prolonged absence because of an injury, the Lakers were upset by the Houston Rockets in the first round. But earlier in the next season, after a disappointing start, Pat Riley was named as the new head coach and the team would quickly regain its form. Los Angeles returned to the finals in 1982 and again defeated the Sixers in 6 games, finishing the playoff with a 12-2 record and earning their second title of the decade. In that year's draft, they selected James Worthy for the first overall selection to help keep them contending for years. And in the next 2 seasons, the team kept its dominance on the league, but was defeated in the finals each year. In 1983 by a stronger Philadelphia team, and in 1984 by their arch rivals, the Larry Bird-led Boston Celtics. The matchup against the Celtics was the first since the 1969 finals and the first championship series in which Magic and Bird played against each other since the 1979 NCAA championship game. With their loss, the Lakers fell to 0-8 record against Boston in the finals. The Johnson-Bird rivalry was one of the most entertaining matchups in basketball, and being highlighted by their team's rivalry, it helped the league and the game grow in popularity around the world. They would meet again in 1985 in a rematch of the previous year finals, but this time, Los Angeles was able to finally make it past the Celtics to win a title, doing so in the decisive Game 6 in the Boston Garden, becoming the only visiting team ever to win a championship there. The team's 4 consecutive finals streak would be snapped by the Rockets on the following season when they lost a 5-game series in the conference finals. But with a few changes to the roster and a change in the offense to take the focus from Kareem to Magic, the Lakers made an immediate bounce back on the following season, again meeting the Celtics in the NBA Finals in what would be the team's last and tie-breaking matchup with Johnson and Bird on their respective rosters. The Lakers were able to win their 4th title of the decade, and Magic was named MVP of both the regular season and the championship series. Feeling confident about his team's chances for the following season, Raleigh declared on their championship parade that the team would repeat as champions the next year, something that hadn't been done since the Celtics dynasty ended in 1969. The team accepted the challenge, but it would be no easy task to accomplish. After finishing the regular season with the 62-20 record, the Lakers faced arguably their toughest road to the finals up until that point. After sweeping the San Antonio Spurs in the first round, Los Angeles needed 7 games to defeat both the Utah Jazz and the Dallas Mavericks. And things wouldn't get easier. On the finals, they were matched against the bad boy Detroit Pistons, led by star point guard Isaiah Thomas and known for their aggressive defensive style. But behind Worthy's stellar play and his first and only career triple-double, they were able to win the series in a hard-fought Game 7 for their 5th NBA championship of the 80s. In the next season, they kept on their strong play, finishing with 57 wins and were looking to three-peat. The Lakers were able to sweep through the Western Conference with a perfect record, but on their 8th finals appearance, luck wouldn't be by their side. Shortly before the start of Game 1, Lakers starting guard Byron Scott suffered a severe injury and was forced to miss the series. Johnson would also miss part of the series after suffering an injury in the second half of Game 2. And though they gave Detroit a good battle, without their starting backcourt, the Lakers were swept by the Pistons. Following their loss, Kareem retired after 20 seasons. Still, Los Angeles didn't miss a beat and was able to finish the next season with a league-leading 63-19 record. However, the season was cut short in the second round after being defeated by the Phoenix Suns. Coach Riley stepped down after the season and was replaced by Mike Dunleavy. The older Lakers made a bounce back on the next season, winning 58 games and reaching the finals for the 9th time in 12 years. This time, they faced the Chicago Bulls, who were led by MVP winner Michael Jordan and coach Phil Jackson. The series was Johnson's last finals appearance, and it became known as a passing of the torch, as the Lakers' defeat implied the end of the Showtime era and the beginning of the Bulls dynasty. A few months later, Johnson announced that he had tested positive for HIV and officially retired. Without him, the Lakers lost their contending status, and a few years later, Worthy, the last remaining piece of the Showtime dynasty, also retired. During their time together, the Showtime Lakers were one of the top teams in the league and became the standard for excellence with their exciting style of game. Putting together a collection of the league's best players that included the core of superstars Johnson, Abdul-Jabbar, and Worthy, defensive anchor Michael Cooper, and two-way guard Byron Scott with names such as Michael Thompson, AC Green, and Kurt Rambis. The Lakers always had something for every fan to enjoy. Their sustained level of success, which included 9 finals appearances in 12 years, 5 championships, and 9 consecutive division crowns, is surpassed only by the Bill Russell-led Celtics dynasty. The only other teams that have enjoyed a similar level of success during a prolonged time are the 80s Celtics, the 90s Bulls, the Spurs through the last 20 years, the late 2010s Golden State Warriors, and again the Lakers during the 2000s led by Kobe Bryant. The Showtime was also an off-court product, as the Lakers behind Jerry Buss introduced numerous elements to make the game a more entertaining experience overall, such as cheerleaders, dancers, a band of musicians, and spectacles that would make the Forum a livelier place. The run-and-gun style has also been replicated by other great teams in recent years, including the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns led by Steve Nash, and even the current version of the Lakers that is guided by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. In short, the Showtime Lakers were one of the most dominant teams in the league and were able to leave spectators and opposing defenses speechless with their unique and creative style of play that was perfectly executed by Magic, Kareem, and Worthy. This resulted in one of the most successful runs in the last decades that provided the NBA with fresh air and showed to the world that basketball could be as exciting as any other sport. So, do you think that we'll see another team that's able to replicate the success that the Lakers enjoyed through the 80s? Let us know in the comments. We hope you liked this video, and if you did, remember to like it and subscribe to our channel for more NBA content. We are Courtside.